their party headquarters, bring us the story there and what was happening within those spaces, and then take us to the nomination ground. And they did it for day 1 and day 2. And then they kept commenting throughout the processes. Major media houses had running commentation during the time of nomination. So it was live during the first day. It was also live on the second day. And they had a number of commentators that came into the studios and had conversation on issues manifesto, on issues principles, on issues values, on different issues that were shaping the nomination process. And they also were able to tell us why nomination is important in an electoral process. And they were able to tell us who the candidates were that finally came, but they did not give us some of the information of what was happening in the background for the ones that were not being allowed to take up, because the media should have been able to tell us the story beyond just presenting the ones who were rioting.
Nominated.
They were the ones who were rioting on some TVs. They produced this information, and they did well to produce them, but they needed to have now gone to the Electoral Commission and said, these people are protesting. What was the real problem? So we needed the other side, the Electoral Commission providing the information. They did show us the ones who are protesting, and thank you very much, because that voice was needed. And that then begins me on the story of the underdog. So that underdog, that one was highlighted and very well done, but they needed to have had more conversation even with those people that were disgruntled. We needed to have Katumba Oye saying, why was he being very unhappy that he's not on the ballot this time? Of course, we talked about the cars. We saw, Mia had seen 8 cars on Media House, but Damali here is telling me that actually at the station there were 10 cars. And my assumption was that since there were 8 cars, it is 8 candidates that had to come through.
And that it was premeditated.
And because it is Land Cruisers, the woman could not come through. Of course, that now is my own addition as a woman. And I'm rubbing in the salt. Mr. Vyabakam and his commission need to know that all women are modestly very angry at not having a female candidate. But so who were the superdogs and who were the underdogs? If you saw the way President Museveni's nomination was covered, you actually understood that he is a superdog.
Power of incumbency.
He really had the power. You saw the cameras, you saw every media house turn around, everything was yellow. Even we were in Kololo, we were on the streets, we were everywhere. We happened to see who was there for him, who escorted him for nomination, who danced in the tent, who nominated, who spoke what. We saw all this. We saw him when he was going to address the media, the questions that were being asked of him at the media. You see him running with his flag. So he had enough coverage of everything that was happening. And the questions, of course, of unemployment and the question of him responding to migration issues, transition issues, and democracy issues that were being asked by my friend Shamim, and I thought that was very bold. I am happy that it was a girl who was bold. She was asking, and he said, oh, Shamim, Nabakos, and by the way, he doesn't forget names. He's very good with people who ask questions. So I was very happy that a bold young girl came and asked a very bold question that day. But I was also happy about Timothy Nyangwesho, the one of UBC. Ordinarily, you'd have expected UBC to just be this subtle, passive TV because it is supposed to just be a mouthpiece for government. What New Vision usually does these days, just running headlines for the sake of it, and have been overtaken by a more thought-provocative monitor, daily monitor. Because, for example, if you pick the headline of today of the New Vision and pick the headline of the monitor today, the monitor's headline is saying some people have been sued for standing against someone. But look at the New Vision headline. So that is the thing. New Vision has been just going, passing
the
through.
Editorial policies, and media houses. I never know that's what it is.
Wait about editorial policy. Hello. You're talking to an audio of the New Vision.
Exactly.
So the New Vision should not just be a passerby. The New Vision knows they have a leeway of of somehow remaining strategic, and yet also being playing their policy issues along, because ideally the public will not read you, they will not follow you, they will not want to hear what you're saying if they think you're biased for the sake of it. It has happened in the United States with Fox News and their competitor. The Americans go to those media houses thinking, okay, these ones have to report a certain way. So when you look at the way now we reported Elton Mabirizi, the underdog, did we see Mabirizi telling us his key areas of manifesto, and did we see the journalists probe him on the issues that he's bringing in that manifesto?
Maybe they didn't see any probing needed there.
So you see?
But Damali was there. Didn't he get the chance to speak to the media?
What did you ask? Because we didn't see Mabirizi from his house.
You see, even when a teacher,
from his
Charity,
house,
not that after.
With his wife and the pictures.
Charity,
we have other people who
Charity,
you report
even,
like
not even after every lesson will you ask
But you told me super dogs. I explained to you who the super dogs were and who the underdogs were. And now I'm telling you, Elton Mabirizi, you didn't start with him at his party office, you know, give all the flamboyance and how the people were gathering. And how about Mogati Gwabata? Mubarak Munyagwa. Did you start with him at home? Did you start with him?
Yeah, we started with him. We actually covered him. We covered. Shamim Nabakoza was actually covering him at his area.
Okay, let you play back the videos.
Him.
You know,
no,
here
we do have the videos.
So
yes.
You see?
Yes, we do have the videos. Shamim Nabakoza entirely is the one who was covering Mubarak.
No. So play back the videos. This is NBS. We're in NBS studio. Play back the videos right now. Let us see everywhere turn Munyagwa, the way yellow turn.
Yeah.
I'm not defending the journalists, but I would just like to say that the nomination of some of the candidates was a shock to even some of us, like Munyagwa. You remember, Munyagwa was among the candidates who were told that they didn't have the required signatures.
Yeah.
He was spending about 58 districts. That was on the nomination day. That was on 23rd. He was spending 58 nominations.
Then
districts. Suddenly, we see him at the nomination
center.
Hey, so what did you expect us to do?
Did you ask the Electoral Commission about these ones? Because this is it.
So, Charity, you feel that people who are nominated
without some candidates
journalists. Yes. So what does a journalist do? Here you are. You've been overtaken. You found this candidate there. And
that's why Shamim was at their headquarters before they moved to get nominated.
For us, we are saying, as the public now, that when we were watching the story, as much as we are journalists, we know we are journalists, but yes, now let me try to be a public person. There are those who did not get as
the coverage as much as it
coverage
was,
as the others.
The video
no, that is not even the video, because that is at the nomination ground. We have the videos of Munyagwa before. Yeah.
And then the other person who did not have a full-fledged one was Gregory, although I did see him being interrogated in the media tent, which we
were also at the party headquarters.
Yeah, but what
at
I
the party headquarters
the following
before.
of the motorcade when he was going, and then going down to see whether the police were also following.
You wanted 100% what was done for President Museveni
for everyone, because a level playing field. Why do we talk of the media and level playing field?
Yeah.
Why do we have these things as we reported them in the 2016 electoral report, Citizen Observer report, and the judges sat in court and made a ruling that still sits today, the 2016 presidential ruling, and stated media coverage should be equal for all presidential candidates. Also, media space should be equal for all.
You were talking about equality and equity.
UBC.
You were talking about equality and equity.
Yes, those two words are different.
Maybe there was
equity is justice.
Yes, and there was justice that they were covered. Maybe the equality threshold is not what could have been met, and it may not be met entirely as you do.
And
expect.
then you also had another super dog. Chagulanyi, of course, was also a super dog. Let me also look for another super dog. You had about 3 Mafabi. You had Mujisha Muntu was a fair, and
Fair.
Mandala Mafabi.
Mandala Mafabi,
Because
yes.
Mandala Mafabi, you even followed him and brought for us those small pictures of how he was moving through town and how he was going to his place where he was going to campaign.
You may not. You may want to
that
know.
was FDC.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes. Go ahead, Damali.
Of course, you know, Charity, all
I will
political
ask
parties.
Charity if she loves her children all the same. If she doesn't give any privileges, whether knowingly or unknowingly.
I don't give
whether
privilege.
knowingly or unknowingly. I didn't say you do it.
But also listen, the media is supposed to be fair.
And we were
And
fair.
balanced.
Charity,
And we were
we were
fair.
Supposed to be
We were
fair.
fair
We are
and
very fair.
balanced. We covered all of them.
Cover everybody.
Damali.
Give them all
Charity.
the
We
same.
covered
Charity.
them.
Munyagwa may be my
My
candidate.
take on this is that
Yes.
some political parties are more organized than others.
Thank you.
In all organizations, we
Yes.
have public relation officers and maybe media mobilizers. So as a party, it is also your responsibility to ensure that you contact the journalists to tell them we are here. I personally, I went to FDC. I thought maybe Nandala Mafabi was going to come from the party to
headquarters.
the nomination centers, which was not the case. He started from his home in Garuga.
And he
I don't know why he
communicated.
stays.
Yeah.
So if you don't come out as a party and coordinate all liaise with the media, we can't locate
And
you.
actually, for Mubarak Munyagwa, Charity, to just correct you,
We
we
can't.
didn't cover him as him at the party headquarters, but we were speaking to the Secretary General,
That is
and
it.
we were actually asking about the whereabouts.
Exactly.
No wonder many journalists are saying they were
We were
caught
shocked.
unaware
Hey, we're
to
shocked.
see him
so
at
as,
Eastleigh.
so as a political party, they also have a responsibility to ensure that they work with us. For us, we always have enough. We have enough journalists in the field
Yeah.
to cover everyone. But if we can't locate you, we can't just move like a
We're
headless
not
chicken.
angels.
Hey, you can't.
Of course, the journalists on this
Charity,
platform will
no,
defend
We tried.
themselves.
No. We tried
Thank
to
you
look for
very
all
much
of them,
for trying.
but we're also
That's the
shocked.
But I'm
reality.
also saying that there's improve the threshold
Yeah,
for all,
there is
all our
room to
candidates.
pull our socks,
pull those
but
socks up.
we are putting on the socks nevertheless. All right, Derek, please take it on the coverage itself, particularly. Yeah, sure.
I want to actually say Charity is very right.
Oh, thank you, Derek.
Charity,
There
I've
is
mute your
always-
microphone, nevertheless.
There is always need.
Kidding.
There is always need for fair media, especially when it comes to covering election time, election events. There's always need for equal media coverage.
Derek,
if
I just
you
wanted to
follow-
ask, do you remember a paper or a particular class about the political economy of the media?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please continue with your
So
deliberations.
So if you follow President Museveni up to his home, you're supposed to look out for Munyagwa, and you're supposed to look out for Kyagulanyi and things like that. The only problem is that those are ideals sometimes.
True.
Those are ideals that every journalist needs to have at the head, at the back of their mind. The reality on ground, however,
different.
sometimes becomes very different. That if you bring in those situations where you don't know where Munyagwa stays, he hasn't even bothered. I'm very sure Munyagwa didn't know whether he was going for nominations or not.
So where did he get that? Where did he get that suit?
So you get it. That's the same suit he used when he was launching the.
He didn't know, but he was ready. He had his seconders. He had his
That is the same
So
nominator.
had a lady hanging on his hand. How come she
The
was
wife.
set already?
And
The
then-
wife was
Women
set.
are
always has a daughter and a wife. Has that daughter who is studying law, I think, in London or
So
somewhere.
she was already set.
Women are always
For
said.
probability.
Let's not
Yes.
vulgarize the Common Man's Party.
No,
they knew they
seriously.
were going to be nominated.
me-
They even got their party symbol. They are the only ones who moved with their party
For me,
symbol.
And shockingly, when they arrived at the venue, they were
The party
eating.
symbol can be gotten anywhere.
Their
It
party
is-
symbol
Hey.
can be gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. The silver platter.
And Kasibante, I hardly heard he was too silent.
So for me,
He
it's about the
passed.
realities on ground, that the realities that we go through as journalists. There are places we would like to get into, but you're then gauging between whether you're not bothering intruding onto someone's privacy,
Yeah, sure. As well.
especially without
Especially if they don't invite
Authority.
you. Yeah.
without invitation, or you are merely being inquisitive as a journalist to try to get in there.
Yeah.
When someone comes with their manifesto and they are talking about things that do not fall in place at all.
Yes,
all
they are
falling-
abstract.
They're abstract, they are neither here nor there. You wonder even where to structure a question to ask them. So that answers
I told Charity, not every teacher will
But
get
okay,
questions.
what
at the end.
happened to Kasvante? Produce the footage of
Charity,
Kasvante.
Charity, just a minute. Let
level
me give
playing
Derek.
field.
Derek, continue. Continue with it. I will hold Charity
Today,
and give us.
can I
space
tell you
elsewhere.
today, I have said let the women speak. I'm going to
It
be
is
quiet
good.
when they
After
want to.
all,
It's also very good that
There is only one
today
gentleman.
you are the only man here who have swamped you. Feel the pain we are feeling about 8 men on a ballot paper.
All right.
The Electoral Commission.
Women ceasefire.
Oh my
Derek,
God.
please go ahead and speak on that.
You people are right. You're very right. Everything you're saying
Derek, I
is
hope
right.
you're not saying we are right just to be able to.
That's what he said.
Calm it
He
down.
said he's just saying for